Hi guys, Aaron here with Heck Yeah Productions. Today we're going to do a short interview with Josh here, who's also Heck Yeah Productions. He is our sound engineer, I mean, what
Jack of all trades.
Man? You do a lot.
I currently do all the audio engineering. I do all the producing, a good percentage of the writing, all the tracking of all the instruments. Like, I'm a jack of all trades.
Man, I can't wait for you guys to hear some of his stuff. He is amazing at what he does. I mean, we talk a lot here at Heck Yeah Productions about just everything we do it with excellence. There's no subpar anything around here. If we don't like it, we'll throw it away.
Disneyland or bust. Like,
yeah. Like,
that's the standard. We are either up here or we're not at all.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You're either first or you're last, Ricky Bobby.
Jokes.
Sorry.
It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. You got jokes.
I apologize. I'm hip off the coffee right now.
There you go. There you go. My caffeine hasn't hit me yet.
Time to get some more. Time to get some more.
So tell me a little bit about the sound engineering, sound production, and just the overall what you do.
What I do? So for Heck Yeah Productions, I was brought in originally just to, sort out the studio, and, then we all came up with the idea of doing a kids show. And from then on, I think you interviewed Daniel, and Daniel will come to me with one of his ideas, and then we just run with it from there. And so, fortunately, I've been blessed to be put in a situation where I have complete freedom and control of whatever I want musically, and that's just kind of been able to spark creativity,
for sure,
so to speak. So, we spent a lot of time in here just writing, and then now we're producing this song to get out to the world, then to the show, and then on and so forth. So.
For sure. So when you're talking about the writing aspect, walk me through the writing aspect in your own words, what that means. Because when I think of writing, I'm thinking of someone with a pen and paper.
Pen and pencil.
Right?
No.
And I know for music it's totally different.
Well, not necessarily, right? So our pen and pencil is our phone or our computer or whatever we've tracked something on, right?
Okay.
So Daniel will be up into the wee hours of 4 a.m. and he'll just, by the time I wake up at 6, there's a full Daniel idea in my text messages. And so I kind of just sort through it, pull out what we want to use as the foundation, and then we'll come in here and I'll be like, all right, I don't like this, let's take this out. Or I like this, let's track all of it correctly, record all of it correctly, and then we just add. So for the song that we're doing today, it was actually a whole different song, completely unrecognizable, right?
Okay.
It was like a doo-wop, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, and now it's we can make some music. So,
It's like full encore.
Full encore. And so that's bound to happen, right? And fortunately, that's part of the process, right? You start with something here and you get to a point where you're like, I don't really like that. Let's start over. I think the only thing we kept was the chorus lyrics. That's the only thing from the original song that we kept. Everything else.
So it was like all gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes.
As you like to say.
Yes. Hemi powered, all gas, no brakes.
So Eric and I heard this song after, man, you guys were working on it for what, like 2-3 weeks probably?
Like that, yeah.
I think it was like 2 weeks by the time you gave it to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we said something to the effect of, man, all of our songs have to sound this good. Like, no gas, no brakes. No, I'm sorry, all gas, no brakes, right?
What's crazy now is after listening to this, so like a couple of days ago, me and Daniel were listening to our library of songs that we've written for the show. And we're like, all right, man, we gotta go back and get Disney quality on everything. So I'm excited about it because it pushes me to be better, right? So no complacency, no anything, right? I pump this out. All right, now this is the base. This is the foundation of where I'm going. So from here on, to the sky.
And I think that's a really good point to touch on with artists and productions in general. Especially when you're talking production like ours. once you set that bar of where you are, you can never go below that bar.
Never.
You always have to go above that bar.
Yep.
But then when you set it too high, it's really hard to keep beating it. So then you're like this level field. Right. And I think this last music video song that we did, I mean, the bar that set is, like you like to say, it's Disney.
Right.
It's perfect. Everything about it is perfect and thought about, and there's nothing to chance on it.
No.
I think that's something that our viewers are going to absolutely love. I mean, all you guys are going to love this production when it comes out.
Absolutely.
You know?
I think for the main thing with music is that you never, if you ever get to a point where you stop learning or you stop trying new things, then you become old and boring. And so there's always something to learn, whether that's in the music realm, the production realm, the audio engineering realm, anything. You always want to keep the bar moving forward, no matter what. If you don't, then that's when you start to fail. And you can see that across the board with multiple bands. You see that with different productions, different TV shows, on and so forth. So you always, number one, want to put yourself around people that do different things that are equally, if not more creative than you. You always want to put yourself around young people that have no boundary line of creativity. And then you yourself always want to keep an open mind and never shut off the possibility of what could be. You never want to get stuck in that zone.
For sure. So when you talk about other productions, musicians, I know we've had a lot of discussions about just all your past experience, and you got a whole boatload of it. Like, not even a boatload. It's like a container ship of it, man. You're like, oh, I've done this, I've traveled here, I've done this. It's like, where does it stop?
It doesn't.
And I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at everybody here at Heck Yeah Productions, at least the executive staff, it's all of us have so much experience in so many things.
Exactly.
And it doesn't stop.
No, and the
It's
good part
endless.
about that is that those experiences will not only continue to shape, shift, and morph wherever we go as a unit, but that also gives me people to learn from. I learn every day from sitting with you. I learn every day from sitting with Daniel. I learn every day from sitting with Eric. And I think between the four of us, it's unstoppable.
For sure. We just like totally went down a sidetrack.
Wow.
Right?
My bad.
No. It's like you and I, we're both like, squirrel, let's go. Right? Total visionary. But no, so like working with all these massive artists that you've worked with, and I'm not going to name drop them. If you want to, you can. But you know, I know better than for me to do it. So working with the type of people that you've worked with, how can you compare that kind of experience and what you've done for them compared to here?
It's just it's a shift of mind, right? So for those who don't know, I was touring for 15 years. I was on the road as a bass player and a guitar player and a music director. And so I've traveled probably 20 plus, maybe more different countries. And there was a stint where I was gone from the States for about 6 years, just literally touring the world. Got to live in a lot of cool places, i.e. China, Russia, Dubai, the Middle East, all around it. And so, where was I going? Totally just lost my own train of thought. What's the difference? There we go. My bad. The difference is there I only have one shot, right? I have every night when I hit the stage. That's my one shot to execute it perfectly. Very similar to here, except for the fact that I can sit in the studio and like get my ideas out multiple times and shape and shift and do what I need to do. But then there gets to a point where now it's out. This is that one shot. So the preparation side is different. The execution is a little bit different. I'm not sitting here playing to the masses, right? I'm in here by myself or with Daniel or with you guys. And so, as opposed to I'm playing for how many hundreds of thousands of people on the live side. So, but then we put this out, and now this is going out to hundreds and thousands of people. So it's
So you're doing it in a roundabout way.
Yes, it's the same thing, but a different process to get there.
And what no one really knows about Josh is not only is he a sound engineer, but he's an amazing artist. This dude knows how to play more instruments than I even knew existed. Like, Well, he walks into the studio and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna start playing this." And then next thing you know, he's whipping out a guitar, then a bass, and I'm like, "Dude, what's next? A banjo?" And next thing you know, he's pulling out a banjo. It's endless. It's endless to watch him play, and it's an amazing sight. So, I guess my question is when you're sitting there on a stage, how does that compare? And we're talking like adrenaline rushes and your peak of just excitement. How does that compare to being in the studio as a sound engineer?
I think the excitement's in two different things, right? The finished product is what gives the excitement, right? So for here, my finished product, when we finally sit down and watch the final taping of this, that's the adrenaline. It's the same adrenaline rush I'll get when I step on stage and I'm on there playing whatever I'm playing. Those are the two same adrenaline rushes. They're the two final products that you want to have, and that's what it is.
For sure. You know, I will say that for all of our subscribers and all of you that just love what we do here, you can still right now go watch Josh play at all these venues. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I'm not
crazy.
slowing down.
We were just out there last week and watching you play a whole bunch of stuff, and I mean it was fun. And then afterwards we had some cigars and just had fun playing for this weekend. I mean it's nonstop.
Non-stop.
It's nonstop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
That's a good saying. I like that saying.
I got you.
So for the kids watching this, I know it's different from the initial writing of like what Daniel does,
Okay.
and it's not necessarily puppeteering, right? How hard is it to do what you do with what people have at home?
It's not. I could do majority of it from home, right? Thank God for YouTube. When I was coming up, we didn't have it, right? So any learning we had to do, I had a cassette tape, and I had to hit play, rewind. Or how I learned to play by ear musically is I would sit there and I would watch commercials. I'd have my guitar out, and I'd sit there and be like trying to like listen to what it is and match whatever the commercial music was playing. I try to learn it in that 25 seconds that I heard it. And so, thankfully, we don't have to do that anymore. YouTube University, I tell everybody all the time. You can learn to play whatever instrument you want. You can learn to audio engineer. You can learn to produce. There is just so much information out there. All you have to have is an open and willing mind.
For sure. And you know, that brings me up to the next point. You're going to love this one.
Okay.
We're going to release a YouTube University
Oh.
on sound engineering,
Ooh.
so that you can teach people how you do what you do from home.
Yes, I got you.
It's going to be freaking cool. And that way, all these guys at home can learn how to do at least basic sound engineering to make their dreams come alive. Because ultimately, that's what we're here for: is for everyone's dreams to come alive.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Yep.
So, as a kid, or even a young adult, even an adult for that matter, anyone watching, right?
Yep. Anybody.
What would your recommendation be to get to where you are today?
Keep going. There's going to be plenty of adversity down the road. It just is, right? Everybody has a different deck of cards. It is those adverse moments that set you aside for greatness, right? So if it was all easy and there was no friction, no turbulence, then life would just be pointless. And so it's those moments of adversity that you have to push through to get to success. And so that was it for me. And I'm sure later on we can go down my life story and how I got here. But the number one thing is just stick with it. Especially in the entertainment industry. You stick with it, you find your lane, you find what works for you. And I'll say this too. It is important to have your own, whatever you're doing, whether it's audio engineering, musician, producing, have your own sound. Have your way of doing things. And that doesn't change the quality, right? You always want to have the best quality that there is. There's a standard of quality you want to have. But have your own sound. That sets you apart from everybody else. And that's what will make you great. Because I can go out and find the same 5 musicians that all learn the same licks, learn the same things, and that doesn't make them great. It's those who learn the same ideas of those things and make it them their own.
And I notice that in a lot of interviews that we do for the production company is we get a lot of actors, actresses, musicians. They come through and it's always the same pitch, the same spiel, the same, you know, I can do the same 5 things great. And the people that we look for and that we end up hiring are the people that really shine out. They have their own way of doing things. They just have that passion, and you can tell when someone has a passion. And the other thing that I kind of take away from really everybody so far that has done these videos is it's always about sticking with your dream and continuing down that path. It's always hard. At some point in time, it's going to be hard.
Yep.
And if it's not hard, then you're not doing it.
You're not.
Right? And regardless of where you start, you're always going to start out with no views, no subscribers, no likes, no comments, no nothing. Absolutely no fan base. And to get there, you just have to keep pursuing it and doing it.
But here's this, and I'll say this, and I know we're probably going to go through the weeds a little bit, and this is a long interview for this. But at the same point, don't get caught up in social media. There are so many different people that are doing great things that aren't on Instagram or only have 300 followers or whatever. Success is not contingent on your social media.
That's a good pointer.
So, whatever you do, don't look at the numbers and then get discouraged. I have far less Instagram followers than even Aaron does, right? But that doesn't mean I'm less successful than Aaron, right? So stop playing the comparison game and keep pushing forward.
Don't worry about how you compare to other people. Just do you.
I'm getting a call to go back to set.
All right, let's do it.